Welcome back, my fellow mobile gamers, to my weekly summary video series of the most interesting mobile games I played last week. My name is NimbleThor, and in this episode we'll spend a few minutes talking about a unique RPG shooter with idle progression, an addictive new PvP bowling game with some awesome graphics, and a new strategy PvP game very reminiscent of Clash Royale and MINIMax Tinyverse. Now, if you are enjoying these videos, then be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already done that. And with that said, let's just dive into today's first game. And starting off this week, we have got something I don't actually think I've covered yet here on the show, a mobile bowling game, because Bowling Crew is a brand new 1 versus 1 real-time bowling game in the vein of Golf Battle. And for those of you who haven't played Golf Battle, what this means is that we bet a certain amount of in-game gold to enter a match, and the winner of that match then wins all of the gold. And that creates a very nice, almost gambling-like element to the game. It's very high stake, and I'm really loving it. Now, each match in this game consists of just 3 rounds of turn-based bowling, where we can pick 1 of 3 bowling balls on every shot, and with 6 bowling balls in our inventory in total. We get to position, aim, and define the speed of each shot, and at the end of just 3 rounds, the player with the most points will win the match. Between matches, we then open loot boxes to earn more of the same bowling balls so that we can level it up to become stronger. And with a ton of different bowling balls, there are lots of different, really interesting winning strategies to explore. The gameplay is fun, the graphics are great, and despite the monetization that definitely allows us to progress faster if we buy in-app purchases, I haven't yet had any issues with the fairness of the matchmaking system. The game requires online access, it takes up only 164 megabytes of space, which, considering its high-quality graphics, really isn't a lot, and it's available on both Android and iOS in a beta version at the moment. And if you enjoy games like Golf Battle or you just like bowling, this is an easy game recommendation from my end. Now, today's next game then is a bit more of a traditional mobile game. It's called War Doh, and it's a Clash Royale-like PvP game where we control a main hero and we then deploy additional units in 1 versus 1 fights, not too unlike those found in MINIMax Tinyverse. Now, the progression and the UI is exactly like in Clash Royale. It's basically a copy-paste, which means wait time loot boxes that reward us with more gold and unit cards. The main differentiating elements are that killing the opposing hero provides an instant win in this game, and the chests spawn throughout each match, which allows us to recover HP or gain more mana if we pick up those chests before the opponent does. Monetizing through in-app purchases to buy more cards, the game is inevitably somewhat pay to win, and Jam City, the developers of this game, aren't exactly known for making fair monetization systems, unfortunately. The game requires online access, it takes up 374 megabytes of space, it's out on Android and iOS already, and while the game has great humor and it is fun to play, I would actually warn against spending too much time on it simply because of its monetization system. If you enjoy this gameplay though, I would instead recommend MINIMax Tinyverse, which I also covered a few weeks ago here on YouTube, so you can go find my full video on that game if you're interested. And I've also linked that very conveniently in the top right corner of the screen right now. But now then, it is time for my favorite game of the week, Tortoise 2, which is an idle shooter with RPG-like progression systems. The game is fun, the concept and the gameplay is very unique. In fact, I've never seen anything like this before on mobile, and progression is decently paced, which is very important, especially for an idle game. Now, our objective here is to protect our war tortoise, yes, literally a tortoise, as it travels around an open world map to conquer territories. We simply set our target destination for our tortoise, and then we go in and we buy new units, and we upgrade our weapons to protect ourselves against the waves of enemies standing between us and our destination. As an idle game, our tortoise and units can shoot enemies automatically, even though manual aiming is also an option, and you will progress faster and you'll deal more damage if you use manual aiming. But unlike typical idle games though, we don't actually get to decide when we want to reset our progress. Instead, we reset and get a huge stat boost whenever our war tortoise dies, which makes death really meaningful in this game. Now, monetization in this game happens through occasional incentivized video advertisements that thankfully never feel necessary to progress in the game, and in-app purchases that allow us to progress faster if we want to. But once again, those in-app purchases, they are really not necessary to have fun and progress in this game. The game can be played offline, it takes up 863 megabytes of space, it's out on Android and on iOS already, it very recently just released globally, and if you enjoy idle games, I think you're gonna love this game's unique mix of gameplay elements. It's also my favorite game of the week, so it's an easy recommendation from my end. So there you have it, 3 new mobile games. Let me know what you think about them in the comment section down below, and thank you very much for watching this episode till the very end. If you haven't yet, you would make me very happy if you'd leave a like on your way out. And then, until next time, remember to keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.